Telecoms giant Ericsson says it sees a glimmer of hope things will pick up this year despite posting yet another quarterly loss. The Swedish company, the world's biggest producer of mobile networks, reported a fourth quarter 2002 loss of around €240 million, with sales down 37%. Kurt Hellström, the firm's chief executive, said, however, there had been some progress during the quarter.
We are quite encouraged by our continued achievements during the quarter. When saying that, I think I have to underline that we do not yet see any visible signs of an industry recovery.
Ericsson, like rivals Nokia and Motorola, has been hit by a collapse in the market for mobile infrastructure, as heavily indebted operators have reined in capital spending. The company said it expects to return to the black by the fourth quarter this year at the latest. Shares in the firm, whose mobile phone business also made a loss in the fourth quarter, dived as investors expressed concern at the outlook.
First, a look at how things have changed over the last 7 days. Here are the latest currency rates. Finally, the major commodity prices.
Economia was brought to you by Europages, the European Business Directory. Now a look at what's making the headlines across Europe this morning. Sugar-free orbit headlines Russia's Izvestia commenting on the future of the International Space Station. The Russians continue to launch their own rockets following the Columbia disaster, but compared with the shuttle's capacity, theirs is very small. Even if the US finances the Russian space program, only very few rockets could be sent to space, maybe too few to keep the ISS program going. The last chance for a peaceful solution to the Iraq crisis could vanish when the US presents its evidence to the Security Council on Wednesday, says Italy's Corriere della Sera. The world is divided over a war in Iraq, which will most probably go ahead without UN backing, the result of a clever strategy by Bush. By dividing everyone else on the issue, he will remain the only one to decide. Britain's Independent looks at relations between Blair and Chirac, saying that despite big differences, they need each other much more than they like to let on. America's used Iraq to divide Europe, but it should become an issue France and Britain can reach agreement on. Both need a second UN resolution, Blair to unite his party and Chirac to avoid using his veto in the Security Council. Goya says no to war, headlines Spain's El País, referring to the National Film Awards ceremony where movie stars sent a clear message against a war in Iraq. They echo the opinion of the Spanish people, according to El País, which says that instead of criticizing those who send that message, the government should listen a bit more to the Spanish people. And finally, La Libre Belgique claims Belgium is a relay point for cyber criminality. A new study reveals Belgium is 7th on the blacklist of developed countries from which most cyber attacks originate. It's not that Belgium is full of hackers, but that many of them infiltrate Belgian PCs to launch their attacks. But, reassures the paper, most of it is just harmless fun, not cyber terrorism. And that's all for this morning's papers. A reminder of this morning's main news. 3 days on, Houston gets ready to remember the 7 astronauts who died on board Columbia at a memorial service where Bush will speak.